All right. Welcome everybody to our Get Inspired session. It's so nice to have you. Hi, Doris. Thank you so much for saying hello in the chat. Yes, please keep just introducing yourself in the chat as we get started and let us know where you're tuning in from. So we are really excited to get started. I am interviewing today Loveness and Tofara, who are actually our new super connectors in Ecom Connect. Our super connector program is kind of like an ambassador program, and it's kind of like an exchange program where members of the community help us just grow and manage the community, and in exchange we support them with their business. And you can take a look at our program on the Ecom Connect platform. And my name is Jennifer. I am the community leader of Ecom Connect. For those of you who are new, welcome to one of our sessions. We have a lot of events happening every month, and I will put in the chat the link to join Ecom Connect. If you're not already part of the community, we would love to have you. And today I am really excited to interview Loveness and Tofara because they are a really great example of balancing strategy. So Ecom Connect, e-commerce strategy. I always get like those two words sound the same in my head. E-commerce strategy, so practical strategy with the more, I would say, impact driven strategy. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So I would love if Loveness and Tofara, you can just first take a moment to introduce yourselves, and then we will dive into your business. So Loveness, would you like to go first?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Jane, for this opportunity. And I'm really excited to be here. My name is Loveness, as she's already mentioned. I'm a digital strategist and technopreneur. I run a consultancy, and I do also tech for impact and for social impact projects, because I'm passionate about using tech for good and adding value to lives, to livelihoods, to individuals, to brands and businesses, and also just making sure that people adopt technology at whatever level they are at.
Thank you. And you are in Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm in Zimbabwe. In the capital city, in Harare.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. Tofara, welcome. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Jen. I'm so excited to be here. And Jen has said, I'm Tofara Chokera. I'm the founder of an organization called TofaraOnline, which is a digital marketing and innovation consulting trust. And in the organization, our main aim is to empower women and micro, small to medium enterprises to adopt digital marketing, either for career development or for business development. I think later on in the chat, I will definitely talk about why I had to form such an organization. I'm so passionate about empowering people in marginalized communities. Why? Because I grew up in a community where there was no access to technology and no access to information at all. And I did not get even a career guidance in my education. So being in tech, it was all by chance. Seeing a computer at 20, then I saw that, you know what, I think there is a world that I didn't know. And I fell in love with computers. That is how I then said, you know what, in my life, I just want to reach out to communities like I grew up in. I want to make sure that women and girls are given equal opportunities to learn about tech, about digital marketing. And, right now we are at Ecom Connect as SuperConnectors, something that is building up on the impact that we are making here in Zimbabwe and across Africa.
Yeah, I love just how both of you have such a strong drive towards impact. And I think that is really important. And that can really be the fuel to building a successful business, because you're really leading from the heart, from what you're passionate about, and from, in marketing, we talk a lot about like, what is the problem that you want to solve?
Yes.
And when you have a problem that you want to solve in your business, and it's directly tied to your passion, that means that it's something that you would get up every day and probably even do for free, if that's how much you love it and you're good at it. And when
Yeah.
you're doing business from that space, there's just so much more potential for success and growth, I believe. So thank you so much for and you're also in Zimbabwe, Tofara, if I'm not mistaken.
Zimbabwe in Harare.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So let's start by tell us where you guys met. Like, how did your paths cross? And then how did you decide to start working together? Because you both had your own businesses, your own consultancy. Where did you meet and what brought you together? And what are you doing together right now in your work?
Okay, so we actually met in a WhatsApp group. So we are both into digital marketing, like what Loveness has said. So we happened to be in one WhatsApp group, and Loveness was posting more about digital marketing and her passion for affiliate marketing. So at some point, I then reached out to her and said, you know what? I think as women, we should not compete. We are all digital marketers. We are trying to push the same agenda. We don't need to compete. We can actually collaborate on some of the programs and impact more communities. So there was a point where I arranged in the lockdown, there was serious lockdown in 2020, and I had to arrange WhatsApp classes for digital marketing. And I knew Loveness was a guru when it comes to affiliate marketing. Then I said, Loveness, please come and train us on affiliate marketing and how people can utilize it to get money while they are in the lockdown. So Loveness came. She thought she was teaching the other people, but she actually changed my life for good. The way she taught affiliate marketing made me to come up with an affiliate program for TofaraOnline. And we started giving out people commissions during that time on people who were promoting our programs and our trainings. And from there, we have never left each other. Why? Because we learn from each other. We don't compete. We just make sure that if we have a program that we are working together, it's for the good of our country and most probably other African countries that we are in. I think she can tell us more about how then we collaborated on the recent award of the Digital Champions for Small Businesses.
That's amazing. Yes, I love this. Tell us more about that.
Well, just to take you back a little bit, I just feel like I was discovered, more like Tofara discovered me, because when I was in that group sharing about digital marketing, those were like my first infant steps into sharing what I knew, because I am self-taught. And so I also had this imposter syndrome, but then there was this push to say, you know what, if you never share what you know, people will never find out about you. So when she reached out to me, I was blown away by her knowledge sharing. She doesn't hold anything back. Tofara will not say, like, she tells you everything. She tells you everything. And and that's what I loved about her. And it's because of that collaboration and that networking and that relationship. I think we've only met twice, I think once or twice, but I think she's one of the most valuable relationships that I have that started on the tech space. So what happened is Tofara saw a call in July. It's in June from the World Trade Organization for a call on how we can impact MSMEs so that they are more resilient and can transition in times of crisis like COVID-19, and she put forward a proposal and she put me in there. So I was like, and she's like, by the way, I put your name in there, because we've always been like that for each other. And so she put me in there. Then when we got to the semifinals, when they were now starting to ask more questions, we were responding together, and we won. We were awarded, and that was like, so I don't know, up to today, I don't know how to express how shocked I was that two ladies from Zimbabwe would actually be considered for these types of awards, because there were only four, were the only ones in Africa, and the three other awardees were like associations and chambers of commerce that had like between 75 to 100 years experience. And we, so yeah, it was so surreal. I mean, I remember when she was like behind the scenes at the ministerial conference, where there were all these organizations, the World Trade Organizations, the member states and everything. She's like, Loveness, I don't know what's going on. The other awardees, she was panicking. They're talking about 100 years, they're talking about 75 years. And, she's like, I don't know what's going on. But the truth is, it made us really realize that there's space for everybody in the digital space. I think when you feel like there's no one who's too small for that. And us getting this award is more than just the ability for us to make the impact. It's a message to the ladies, to the women out there, to people who feel like they can't do it, that they're too small, that anything is possible in the digital space. And that has been such a source of encouragement. So we do exchange a lot of notes. We have meetings. If she discovers something, she'll be like, Loveness, did you know? And she sends me a link. And then if I discover something, or if I don't understand, or if I see her doing something, I'm like, how are you doing all these things? And she's very open, and she'll tell me, you know what, there's this feature in Canva, and this is how, and I was like, oh, okay, that's the one, really? So it has been such a beneficial relationship. Yeah.
That's really incredible. We talk a lot about this in Ecom Connect, about the importance of networking and collaboration and partnership. And a lot of business owners kind of go at it on their own. And even if you don't become like actual partners in a company, there is so much value. And just based on what you guys are saying right now, in just even collaborating, sharing knowledge, sharing resources, bringing each other into one another's experiences or opportunities. When you uplift someone else, it automatically, elevates you at the same time. So I love that is how you guys function together. And I also think that one of the, like, how you were saying you were just so surprised that you guys got that award. And I think for me, what that highlights is one of the reasons you stood out and got that award is because you both really place yourself where you're at your best in your business. And clearly your skills are digital marketing, but also just that human connection, that impact driven work. And that comes out when we speak to you guys immediately. And the passion we feel and what you talk about is what pulls us in to you. That is what is magnetic. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how do you balance you staying in what I like to call your zone of genius, and then fulfilling the other needs in your business. Do you have a team that work within your company with you?
Yes, we have a team, but a very small team. We are three. We are three full-time. Then we also ride on collaborations and partnerships. So what I have is, when you are starting, there are certain costs that you should not hang yourself in, especially when you are trying to grow your organizations, which means that if you cram yourself with a lot of overheads, you might not realize the impact that you would want to do. But there are people out there that are willing to bring in their skills, bring in their, ways to collaborate and make an impact to communities. So in terms of balancing, you will notice that if the figures of the number of people that we have trained, from 2017, we've trained more than 7,000 SMEs, mostly women, owned businesses on digital marketing. And that was not an individual effort. It was the effort of our partners, our collaborators, people who believe in women getting to know about technology. So in as much as our team is small, we don't see ourselves as small. If you go onto our digital platforms, we are a very, very big organization. But our success is not on our effort only, but it's on the partners. If we have Loveness and her followers, endorsing programs, if we have got stories of success, if we have got stories where people are changing their narratives, that is what we are there for. So if we have a woman who is struggling to put, for example, food on the table and even send their kids to school, and if someone comes and say, you know what, there's this program which is being offered by TofaraOnline, you can actually grow your business from that and be able to buy food. And when people come, that collaboration, that referral, that meaningful relationship, I'm one person who believes that. Just like what Loveness was saying, I believe in relationships that gives us value. If you are not bringing anything that is going to feed into our vision or feed into what we want to achieve in terms of impact, then you are not supposed to be anywhere closer to my network. But if you are there to bring in something valuable, be it a skill, be it support, there are people that come with ideas. Not everything that we implement is my idea or my team members' ideas. Some of them we get the ideas from people who we have never met before, but maybe we have talked one or two times on the internet, and they become part of the network to build the impact that we want to make in Africa. So all those advices, I've got mentors, I've got coaches, and these come in different, it depends. I've got a mentor in digital marketing, I've got a mentor in terms of personal development, I've got a mentor in terms of grooming and etiquette. I'm one person who wants to be a whole person, but I cannot do it myself. But I rely on the teamwork, on the support that we get from people all over.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is from a movie, but I don't know if it's from somewhere else. It takes teamwork to make a dream work. And I really believe in that. And I think the other thing that's important to highlight here in what you're saying, Tofara, is that it's really important to take actions in business that are not always directly related to revenue generating. Because if your efforts are only and always put into like, how can I make money with this action? I actually think that you miss out on really great opportunities to collaborate with people who could uplift you or refer you. So like there's ways to bring in revenue into your business without it being like a direct channel, but like really building those relationships with other people. And I love that you guys really prioritize that in your organization. I would love for you to share the story about, or I think there's a couple of stories that when we did our pre-interview, you were talking about how during the pandemic, you helped local businesses who were just selling like in their stores, bring their business online and be able to sell their goods online. Can you share maybe one story from that was, again, one of your impact-driven efforts that brought some really great results to entrepreneurs?
Can I take it, or Loveness, you can take that?
Yeah,
one.
Please go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So when it comes to success stories, Jen, I don't want to lie to you. We have got hundreds of them. But let me just take you back before I give you an example to say, okay, we've got this woman who was doing this. The unfortunate part about this part of the world, we are in Africa, we are in Zimbabwe. A lot of people didn't understand the need of having a business which is online. I still remember back then in 2016, 2017, when I started my digital marketing journey, it was really difficult to convince people to say, you know what, you can actually grow a business, you can actually earn money, you can actually, work online and earn money. But the unfortunate part is when COVID-19 came, no one was prepared. here in Zimbabwe, everything, even there was no car in the streets. No one was prepared. The schools, the small to medium enterprises were really affected. Why? Because they were used to the traditional ways of, waking up, going to the market, ordering their goods, then buying and selling maybe on the streets. You know how it is in Africa. You've got your own small little mall or, where people come in. But now you find yourself in a total lockdown. You don't have money for food. You don't have money for the basic needs. You don't have money for someone who, if your relative was to get sick by then, you wouldn't have money to go to the hospital. That was the crisis that we have. And I still remember that is when we had our highest number of enrollments. Per month, we would not train less than 200 people. Why? Because they realized that on the digital space, there is no disruption. You can actually have your products and look at how you can ship them or deliver them to someone's houses. And like you now know, we are people that go to the roots of businesses where people don't go. That is where we are. So we are looking at someone who is selling their peanut butter, or we are looking at someone who is selling their tomatoes or potatoes, and they're getting rotten. Why? Because they don't have any market online. They don't have any community to buy their products and services. So that is when we said, you know what, guys, it's not the end of the world. Now this is the time to adopt the digital marketing for the international trade. And then we're not saying it's international trade. We're saying it's community trade. I should be in my home and people should know that I'm selling tomatoes and I have to deliver them somehow. So we partnered with a lot of women-based organizations where we would go to train, some for free and some paid trainings. And from those trainings, I can point out women who were struggling with getting money to buy food. I've got this lady who runs a shop, a kitchen, a mobile kitchen. So we taught about content creation and we talk about the social impact or the community impact. And you know what, from those trainings, that lady then went on to train women in her community on how to cook meals, how to, prepare 5-star meals for events. And right now they are actually delivering high quality food in town. Why? Because they managed to then capture the attention of people online, and they are now having customers everywhere. And if you go onto my social media platforms, I think the stories that I share there are so many. I cannot even point to say 1, 2, 3, but people are now getting income. I myself, I can give you my personal testimony. I was an IT engineer at one of the biggest mines in Zimbabwe. But during the 2020, I realized the potential working full-time on, and that is when I actually resigned to focus more on this organization and growing it. In Zimbabwe, people would ask, why would you leave such a big company, such a big job? Why would you do that? But I saw an opportunity, and that is the time that I realized, you know what, there is growth, there is potential, we can actually impact communities and make money. I'm one person who works 100% online. And I organize events, even if it is a physical event, I will organize it online and go to the venue on the day. Why? Because I've understood the power of being digital. Then when it comes to exporting services right now, I'm one person who is now borderless. Loveness can speak about this with our tech-driven entrepreneurs. We are training people from all over the world. Why? Because we have managed to build a story of success, a story of changing the narrative of an African woman. If we can do it from the grassroots of where I grew up, where a girl child was actually raised to get married, and now I'm just a woman who is succeeding in technology, who doesn't want the success stories like that? So I believe that we are definitely making waves. Myself, Loveness, she can tell you her story about how she also quit her job to run this digital thing full time. So we have so many success stories.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are these are the stories that drive us to keep going. I mean, this is so inspiring, and it's just everything is coming full circle with the work that you are both doing, and in a way that is not effortless. You're both working really hard, but it's like not forceful, And I think that
Yes.
that's what everybody's craving in the growth of
Mhm.
their business is like, how can my actions just grow things and help me um, create opportunities for myself and for others. And I think one thing you said, Tofara, that's really important is like how you just saw an opportunity, and then like success happens when you see where there's an opportunity
Yes.
meeting a need, right? And when you take advantage of that, um, yeah, just so many wonderful things can happen. Um, so, Loveness, please also share with us why you quit your job and went into this as well. Um, yes, tell us about that.
Yeah. So thanks, Jen. And Tofara's story always gives me the goosebumps.
Same. I was getting
um
full body chills.
you were like, oh. So I'm an international NGO accountant by profession with 12 years experience in that field. And I got to a place where I was getting sick from the work lifestyle. And the specialist said to me, it's either you're going to continue the life that you're living and your health is going to continue deteriorating, or you're going to make a career shift. And yeah, it was 8 years into my career, and I just thought, oh, okay, I'll make the change. I think I'll make the change. I'll try and go back to work. And when I got back to work, then I was told I was being retrenched. But I was like, I was so ready for it after 8 years of giving my prime time, my literally my life. Because I remember a time when I would get to work at 7:30 in the morning, and I left work at 5 a.m. the next day to start work again at 8.
Wow.
So I then just said I needed time out. But that by that time I was still single, and you know how it is. I believe so much in creating impact in communities that I loved being part of a bigger picture, being able to hear the stories of change even from the office. That was something that just gave me so much fulfillment. So I always gave my 200%. But with this, that diagnosis from the doctor, and I was on steroids, I was on artificial hormones. I was being told my body's like saying, we've had enough, and everything, and it just didn't make sense. So after about 3 months of being at home recuperating, just then thought, let me go back. I mean, this is the NGO, this is Zimbabwe, the NGO space is quite a good place to be in terms of family and welfare. So went back in there, went through the same cycle. And so when I got retrenched again for the second time, I decided not to look for a job in accounting anymore. I then started thinking, what am I going to do? Because my son wasn't crying anymore. By that time, I was a mom, and that just touched my heart. It literally broke my heart. I was a weekend mom, and yes, everything was going fine. I was able to also contribute towards the welfare of the family, but then still, in terms of the quality of life and what is important to me, I just was at a zero. I was like an all-time low. So when my son hit 3 on his third birthday, I was at home, pushing him on the swings. He started to flourish, and I just said, I'm not going back. And I started my mind started opening up to some of the research that I had been doing. And I discovered digital marketing, but then it didn't have a name as fancy as digital marketing. We didn't even know what it was called. And then when I finally discovered that it's actually digital marketing, and when I would tell people were like, what was that? What are you doing? Why didn't you go back to the NGO? And so so I couldn't afford to go to school, and so I decided to go on a journey of being self-taught, and that has been my experience since. And so that is my journey. And then I meet people like Tofara. I started being invited for trainings, started getting some accelerator awards, and just getting that attention from the content that I was creating and the presence online. And that has made all the difference in my career, because in terms of clientele, my first client from Europe, I got them on Twitter.
Wow.
And I was like, when they sent the payment, I was like, what? This actually works. Officially hit the, and it was really exciting. And that's the one thing I try and tell people, that we're ordinary people, we wear trousers one leg at a time. There's nothing super special about us, but the tech space is for everybody. There's no owner or a specific way of doing it. And that has been my journey.
That's really incredible. And, by you both taking these non-traditional steps forward in your community, you're paving the path for other people, because oftentimes people will stay stuck with their dreams or visions, because especially in countries where there's like really like connectivity and just having access to like being able to get paid digitally and stuff like that, people stay stuck because it's like, well, they don't really know how to make it happen. And we need trailblazers like you both to like pave the path and get that first payment from Europe through Twitter.
Yeah, I think you have mentioned something that is very important. Like people wait for opportunities to come their way. I remember last week I was having a discussion with someone who was saying, here in Zimbabwe, internet connection or data is quite expensive, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually made a research and I saw that only 29 countries in the world have got accessible internet or cheap internet. Only 29 countries. So we shouldn't like we are the only people that are being affected by the cost of the internet. Stories that were happening on WhatsApp. Buying a WhatsApp bundle in Zimbabwe is not expensive. And we start from where we are. And I also wrote a book, by the way, which is called Tech-Driven Marketing, the Essential Practical Guide for Digital Marketing in Africa. And I was actually addressing what you were saying, the limitations that we put on ourselves as a result of being in Africa. You know, we are Africans, yes, but we do have the resources that we have. But the problem that is affecting most of us is complaining a lot, always looking at the negative side of our country or of our continent. But if you look at the resources that we have and the baby steps that we have to take, I think we are very rich, and we just have to change our mindsets. Technology is here to stay. If we are not going to change, by default, I think when technology is evolving, you will change by default. You'll be left behind, you know. So I believe we have to utilize the opportunities that we have. We have to utilize technology. Just recently, I think I'm talking too much. Yesterday, I did a video.
No. Keep going.
Yesterday, I actually posted something on my LinkedIn and Facebook where I was talking about digital marketing career. Because a lot of people will sit and wonder, what are you doing online to earn money? So I just had to split to say, you know what, with digital marketing, there are so many things that you can specialize on. You can be a content creator, you can be a website developer. And I also included e-commerce. Why? Because I'm a super connector for e-commerce. You know, people can become e-commerce specialists and help small businesses to launch their e-commerce websites, and from there they can start trading internationally. And you were speaking about the problems that we have when it comes to payments here in Africa. Yes, we do have problems with the international payment gateways, But you know what? We've got alternatives. We cannot just cry and say, you know what? I cannot have people pay using Visa cards, and we don't have credit cards here. So how are people going to pay us? If you see my payment card, it has every payment platform, you name it, Western Union, Mukuru, mobile money, etc. I have to take money, even if it is like not automated. You have to send on EcoCash, that is a mobile money here in Zimbabwe, and I have to give you a service. So what we have is what we are supposed to utilize, not crying all the time. I believe that this is something that not only affects Zimbabweans, but people in Africa have got a tendency of just crying. But if we start to look at the opportunities and the resources that we have, and pioneering in this digital space is something that we have to ride on. I believe that here in Zimbabwe, we are one of the pioneers. We are maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 people. We are pioneering something that is new. And when you are pioneering something, when the people are going to trail behind you, you'll be very far. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add on what you had said.
Yeah, I think that's so important. What you just highlighted is success comes from focusing on opportunities and what is possible and what you do have access to rather than what's lacking. So thank you for highlighting that. That's really, really important.
Sorry, Jen. Can I also add that sometimes I think it's important for the people with knowledge to share the knowledge they have.
Mm-hmm.
Why I say that is because at some point in time, I think until recently, I was talking to someone who's very close to me, and they said, you know what, Loveness, I think you're taking a lot for granted. When you talk about taking your phone and making money from a phone, for you, it's almost like common sense, like because you've got the skill that you have, you know what you know. But do you know, for an ordinary person, yes, the phone that I bought it to communicate. So that openness of the mind to say, look, I can actually turn this into something that generates income for me has to come from someone who knows like you, or even just taking it for granted. I was so mortified. It just took me time to like really wrap my head around it, to think that someone was like, are you telling me you taught yourself this? And I was like, yeah. So they were like, I think you're taking a lot for granted to think that it's a normal thing for what's happening in your life is a normal thing, but it can happen. It can happen. That's number one. Number two, we need to lock arms, share information, amplify our voices. I'm really excited about the partnership with ITC through Ecom Connect, because what it does, it gives us the tools for us to actually reach larger people. It's nice for us to be able to share what we know with Africa, what works, how do we contextualize digital marketing for a vendor who we can't talk about email marketing, we can't talk about funnels, we can't talk about all that fancy stuff, but I can talk about WhatsApp. How do you maximize the WhatsApp? How do you maximize some of the apps on the phone? And so we can bring it down to a level like what John says from ICC. He says that the grandmother who's crocheting somewhere should be able to send out or trade internationally. All we have to do is to then think about or talk about the logistics of how they're going to get the product out there. How is it that they're going to get the market to know their product? But all these things are possible, and it's up to you, Jane, to Tofara, to Loveness, and to anybody else out there to say, look, let's share the news, let's share the knowledge, let's not hold back. And because we live in a life of abundance, ideas will always come. Let's not think of competition, but sharing knowledge for the greater good.
Yeah, and that for me is pure leadership, pure leadership. And I think as entrepreneurs, it is our responsibility to step into our leadership and, like you said, what how we can create an impact, how we can share and support one another. And I love how you said locking arms. I think that's a really, really beautiful analogy.
Thank you.
Tell us, before we open up the stage for questions, and just to let everyone know, I see your questions in the chat and I'll get to them in just a moment. Before we go into questions, I really believe in the 80-20 rule in business. I don't know if you've heard of it before. So like oftentimes entrepreneurs were putting 80% of efforts and getting 20% of results.
Mhm.
And when we swap that and we put 20% of efforts towards the right things and where we're really at our best and where we can make the biggest impact, that can give us 80% results. What would you say is the 20% that you put your energy into growing your business that gave you 80% results, whether it's revenue, opportunities, visibility?
Okay, so on my side, I'm one person who is passionate about sharing information, creating content. And most of the opportunities that I've got, the sales, the high ticket sales, the social impact sales that I've got are as a result of the information that I once gave out for free. And then people come in to consult, and that's how I then get the network that I need to earn some money. Then I've also invested so much into my personal development. And like I said, here in Africa, we use what we have. I'm one person who maximizes on massive open online courses. I'm on Allison, I'm on the Philanthropy University, I am on Harvard. During the lockdown, Harvard actually opened courses for people to learn for free. And I took advantage of that. So you'll notice that when people are looking for someone who is qualified, I've got the qualifications that make me, that seal the opportunity for me to consult on digital marketing, on strategy, and so on. So it's all about investing in yourself, making yourself better, making sure that even if you get to a job to do, maybe it's consultancy or training, you deliver or you serve. I like using the word saving, because when you serve, it's not like you are doing it for money, but you are doing it for an impact. You're doing it for results. So that has made me get so many testimonials, so many meaningful relationships, and that's how we get into our revenue. And I think the other thing that I've maximized is the opportunity to partner with big organizations in Zimbabwe. I do not take any partnership or collaboration lightly, be it a small organization or a big organization. But now, if you're a big organization like International Trade Center, I tell you, we will ride on that name like, no man's business. Because we would say, okay, if International Trade Center managed to buy into our brand, who else won't buy into that brand? So we have to, even if you see my posts, sometimes I tag International Trade Center, the International Chamber of Commerce, Google, and Zoom, who actually gave us sponsorship on the champions, the digital champions for small businesses. So I really ride on those partnerships. If I get to do a small little thing, maybe it's a flyer, if I get to do it for a certain organization, which I believe, gives me advantage, I ride on it as if I was given $1 million contract. That is how I market myself online. If these big brands can buy into my brand, which means there is something good that I'm doing, or there is the impact that they are seeing on what we are doing. So who else is not supposed to buy into us? So that is what I maximize on. And definitely content. I've got a content calendar that I work on. Whether I'm on my computer or not, there's something that is going out. I've realized that if you are quiet online, people forget about you overnight, because the internet is so busy with so many things. The moment you're quiet, people forget about you. So I utilize the content calendars in Canva. Canva has become one of the most powerful tools. I've been recently made a Canva champion. I'm an affiliate because I use Canva. You know, we created projects around Canva. If you look at, we are creating what we call digital marketing packs for small to medium enterprises. And we are charging a small little amount for 50 flyers that we do on Canva. And that on its own, people are getting like a foundation of taking their business online. If you can have 50 flyers and you post them over a month, trust me, by the end of 30 days, you'll be having more customers or more people who are interested in your product. And we're also training on Canva. Those are some of the things that we share. And so if someone comes back and say, you know what, Tofara, you gave me a foundation on bringing my business to live on the digital platforms, I share that story. That is how I've managed to build the brand. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so powerful and so inspiring. I feel inspired to take some actions around that. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Loveness, what has been your 20%?
Well, a lot of it has been mentioned by Tofara, where they're very similar in terms of the strategies, because the principles are the same. You know, what works here will work anywhere else. Like gravity, it affects everyone, whether you like it or not. So it's the same thing with the digital marketing. The principles basically don't change. The businesses could change, but that doesn't change. So one of the other things that I also maximize on is authentic networking, authenticness, or being authentic online. And I say that so that I draw and I'm magnetic to the right people, to the right type of people. I want to use technology to not to just, LOL, look cool, thing, that type of thing. But I actually want to inspire people, to motivate, to challenge certain things, to express myself in a way that will make someone take action, introspect and say, okay, fine, I can do this. If she can, then I can do it. So the stories of change and impact for me, some of them have spanned over 3 years. Some people have worked with them for 5 years. And, there's no words that I can use to explain seeing someone flourish. And recently someone sent me their picture when they were being recognized by an association. And, she was their Thursday crush, and everything. And she was weeping. She was weeping because our journey started in her bedroom with me with a phone saying, you're scared of recording. Here's a phone. Let's do something together. And that's how it started. And it's been 5 years. So that authentic, I don't mind if I don't reach the numbers. I'm after that one person. And that one person for me is everything. I don't mind if I don't have likes, but if I can impact one person. And that one person is the one person, are the people that draw people to me. A lot of my business doesn't come from advertising online. I at some point when I wanted to roll out my program to start social media marketing, I got swamped with referrals. People were people were referring people, and that has just snowballed because even when I have a conversation with someone and they don't take the service, they will refer. So also one thing that I also has been my 20% is personal development, in the sense of building my own confidence in knowing the value that I put on the table. Why? Because my background, a woman, you're just supposed to be humble, put together, keep your head down, you're married, you're a mother, just, keep it cool, that type of thing. But then, and that's what we were told was the ideal woman. This thing of you stand in front of people saying, you know what, this is what I can do for you. This is who I am. You can trust me. I can take you somewhere. Use me. It was something that was so foreign to me. It was termed as pride. It wasn't something that was positive in any light at all. So I had to deal with that mindset first to actually find value in myself and know and appreciate it, so that I can offer the same value to my target audience. So I'm constantly reading. constantly learning. I never stop learning. I give myself challenges every day to network with someone new, so that I add them to my network, not so that I've got massive following, but so that I can learn something new from someone that I can also be part of. So I'm not even going to say a lot. I'm just going to end right there, Jen.
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
done.
It's so inspiring. This is exactly what all of us need to be doing more of. Yeah, I love this. I think you both need to write a book. That's what I think, but we can keep that for another conversation.
Yeah.
So we have two questions here I'm going to read. And we have about 7 minutes left because, as I was mentioning before, we had a little the time difference changed, and then we had to bump things. So I have to be on another Zoom in like 7 minutes. But I want to look at these two questions in the chat. And at the same time, I'm just going to launch a poll as we're like working through questions. It's just a few questions if you can answer. It would really help us just to know like how you like the event, what we can do more of for you. So I'm going to simultaneously launch that. You'll see it pop up on your screen. So we have Veronica, who says, Loveness and Tofara and ITC, thanks so much for this session. How did you get your clients or customers to trust you? I've had situations where on Instagram, people have asked if I'm really legit. This is such a symptom of people being oversaturated online now. So yes, what are your thoughts on this?
I usually give this example, Jen. When you are online and you are trying to make people buy into your brand, it's like you are inviting them to a wedding, right? So when people come to a wedding, they expect a bride and a groom and a cake and, everything that makes a wedding so good. That is the same thing that happens with the digital space. So this wedding is your content. When people see your flyer, they have to come to your platform and read more about you and get convinced that you are authentic. And if you have one flyer, for example, that you use all year round and it's all about selling, today I'm selling my tomatoes. Tomorrow you wake up and my tomatoes are going for $1. The next day, same flyers, and you don't have information enough for people to be convinced. They don't have any testimonial videos from what you have offered. They don't have the cake. They need to see icing. They need to see the bride and the groom dancing and so on. That content is very essential for people to trust your brand. And I guarantee you, if you work on your content and give people value, give them information, give them testimonials of the work that you have done before, give them information without them asking you about a certain product. I'm one person. I can give an example about strategy, for example. I've got posts that I do on digital marketing strategy. And I give people free and useful information on how to formulate a digital marketing strategy. So which means if someone wants me to do or to formulate their digital marketing strategy, at least they've got a base to know that Tofara is knowledgeable in that area. But now if they look at my platform and they find nothing on strategy, how are they going to trust my brand? So go in content and make sure people buy into your brand before they buy your products and your services. No one will ask you about your authenticity if you have content rich enough to convince them that you are the brand that they're supposed to use.
Yeah, it's like asking someone to marry them on the first date. It's like, building that relationship. Although some people do it, but okay. We have Netsai. Hello, everyone. I would like to know how one can get the card or account that receives money from all platforms. You know what? I'm actually thinking that maybe this. Can you both put your LinkedIn links in the chat? Because this is more of a technical question, and I'm thinking maybe they could, Netsai could send you guys a private message about this. That would be really great.
That will be fine.
Yeah, this is more technical based on where they're located as well. So they're also in Harare, Zimbabwe. Amazing. And then Nada says, hi, everyone. I'm an artpreneur. Oh, I love it. Based in Lebanon. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Rose Art 1991. I want to know what is your advice for implementing a e-commerce website, especially as in my country, it is being hard for the payment gateways. I think that might also be, what do you guys think? A question they could reach out to you for privately?
Yes, definitely. And I'm sure even ITC with e-commerce, I think you also need to join the Ecom Connect site. I'm sure there are talks on how to make it possible for international payment gateways in countries in Africa, and ITC is actually working on that. So if you connect on LinkedIn, then we can discuss further.
Absolutely. I'm going to put the link for Ecom Connect in the chat as well. So if you have not yet joined Ecom Connect, we would really love to have you. We have so many events coming up, really great events. You can connect with Tofara and Loveness right in the platform as well. And feel free to send them some questions as well, as they have lots of wonderful advice. So I think we're going to tie things up here. And again, we can use the platform to just keep connecting and keep sharing around this topic. I think we've spoke about this before, but I think it would be really great to do an Ask the Expert session with you both on digital marketing, so we can really get more granular with these questions. So we will work on that as well. So stay tuned for an Ask the Expert with Tofara and Loveness. That's more of a webinar format, and so we can really look more at like strategy and practical details. A great, Nada, super happy you joined us. And I just want to thank you both for being here. It was so incredibly impactful and inspiring. We are honestly honored to have you both as SuperConnectors. You bring so much value into the community. And I just really look forward for everybody to connect with you inside of Ecom Connect, outside of Ecom Connect, work with you, get your beautiful expertise into their business. And just thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you, Jen, for having us.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. It was really nice to have you with us. And we'll see you on the other side in the community, in the platform.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.